Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Whoa, we're back. We were on a little break there for the holidays, and good morning and good afternoon wherever you are in the world. I'm Doc Hamels, and seems like it's been forever since we were here. We did a little Christmas rerun last week, and I am glad that we did, Justin. The weather was horrible, you know.
I think I had 3 layers on.
You had 3 layers on. It was cold, it was windy, and wow. So anyways, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and that you were able to get together with family, and that's really the important thing. The gifts are like secondary, unless you're 5 years old and under. Well, maybe a little, 50 on down, 60 on down, okay. Anyways, the holidays are always a fun time to get together, and we had to change our plans with our family get-together due to the weather, so we're going to get together tomorrow. Instead of last week, we're going to use the hall at Meter's Restaurant, one of my underwriters here that you see in the beginning of the show. They got a nice big old hall off on one side of the building there, and it holds quite a few people. For years, I was negotiating with family members to have Christmas Eve somewhere other than my house. Our family just kept growing and growing and growing, and when you get to about 40 people, you can start to hear the walls creak, you know. But anyway, so we've been there a couple of years now at Meters, and we're just grateful that we have that resource in our community. So anyways, so I digress. I hope you got something interesting for Christmas, and I just want to show you, I'm donning this very, very nice Christmas gift that I received from my right hand here, my concierge, my cameraman, my go-to guy, Justin Burt. He got me my Harry Potter Gryffindor sweater, and it's very comfortable, and I think I look very stylish. Yeah. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so what we do here traditionally for, gosh, seems like 9 years anyways, this is our 9th Christmas, I believe, show after Christmas. we get the crew on here and we just talk about the past year, some of the things, the events that have taken place either nationally or locally or in our own lives. And we try to look into the future. Well, we didn't collect all the information from last year, but we have a general idea that most of us were wrong about the future. And I put together another list, and so maybe by the time we get done with a couple segments of the show today, we'll have some of the things that we talked about last year. We try to keep it to either DC politics, sports, weather, or the price of gasoline or the stock market, or something that's general enough that we can take some wild guesses at. So we're going to have me plus the 4 of our crew members here that have been with me from day one with Chautauqua Sunrise. So before I get to that, let's just do a few other things here. I said good morning to everybody that's watching it. We'll be on the show 2 and 8 every day throughout the week. I want to say good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown who are listening on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Gosh, we're just so blessed to be able to share what we do here every week with all of you over in Jamestown. And although you can't see us, you can watch us on YouTube, and you can just look up Chautauqua Sunrise, and whoever my guest is, put their last name in the search, and up it pops. And you can see everything that's been going on. For instance, if you want to see last week's Infinity show, just put Chautauqua Sunrise Infinity, and up come all the Infinity shows. And that was so much fun having them here just before Christmas. It seems like it was yesterday, but it was a couple weeks ago. So time has been flying. Okay, we have a phone call already? All right, let's just do it. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Doc. It's Mike Felsman calling from Portland.
Mike from Portland. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Wow. We're only like 6 minutes into the show. What's going on?
Well, I know. I wanted to call you before you got too deep into the show and too deep into the predictions and stuff. So okay. I didn't want to interrupt you when we were really,
on a roll here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, no, I just really called just to, thank you for another year. And
thank you.
Say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I don't have anything really special, but just wanted to check in.
Well, Mike, I'm going to include you in our prognostications. You want to join in on it for next year? I just put your name on the column.
Well, sure.
All right. So this is Mike from Portland's guesses. So I'm gonna. My guest doesn't even know what the questions were going to be. So. For this coming year, right now, this season, Mike, are the Bills, they don't have to win the Super Bowl. Will they be in the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Let's see. What does this say here? We're going to get into some politics for a second, okay?
Okay.
Doesn't have to be anybody specific, but anybody that was in the White House under the Trump administration. Will any of them be convicted with a crime?
Yes.
Okay. Will we have another Biden-Trump runoff in 2024? Because we'll know next year for sure who's running, right?
I'll guardedly say yes.
Okay. And I'll put a little question mark next to that. Is it going to be a green Christmas next year?
No.
No. It wasn't this year. Let's see. Price of gas. I've got it around, I don't even know what the average is, around $3.50. Would you say it's
the price of gas.
For next year, up or down?
Up.
Up, okay. Stock market, up or down?
Probably up.
You are very positive. And any resolution for next year? And we'll put it right down on here.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'd like to exercise and lose weight, and that's been a standard resolution for years.
I have that one too.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm just gonna put me and you in the same box.
All right, there you go.
All right, Mike. Will you make sure you check in next year? We'll see how you did. Okay.
All right, Doc. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks for calling, Mike.
Okay. Bye now.
All right. So my guest is over here listening to all this, so he knows what's coming up. Okay. So before we get to my crew, that was fun. Let's see. Where was I going with all this? Gosh, my hometown, Buffalo. I was born and raised there back in the 50s and 60s and left at the beginning of the 70s. Boy, we had the top shooting there, and that just made me so sad earlier this year, or earlier this year, later in the year, but it was this year, and just things have been happening. Last year, Orchard Park had the 7 feet of snow, which is just down the road from Buffalo. This year, then they got this horrible, horrible snowstorm, and I think Jeff told me prior to the show there are nearly 40 people that perished in that. I know people from Buffalo watch the show from time to time. Again, my heart goes out to Buffalo. I don't even know how to describe the feelings I have right now. It's just really, really sad. And I just hope people can gather together and support each other. And hopefully this is not going to happen again for a very, very long time. And maybe by then the technology will have caught up and they can find ways to be safer during all that time. But my gosh, we were spared down here in Chautauqua County, at least where I live in Ripley. It was cold and it was nasty, but as I was saying, we changed our plans around, but nothing in terms of what Buffalo was going through. So anyways, hopes and prayers for a better day for all my friends and relatives that still live in Buffalo. Speaking of friends in Buffalo and relatives, my Irish twin is having a birthday this week. My baby brother Bob, say that 10 times fast, baby brother Bob, will turn another year older, and this is where the Irish twin comes in. For 20 days, he and I are actually the same age. As far as, if you say, how old are you? Not actual days and years, because I'm obviously older, but he and I will be the same year of age for 20 days. And so an Irish twin is anybody that was 2 siblings that are born before a year, is out. So we were born within 11 months. So happy birthday, Bob. Your birthday is coming up on the 7th. And while we're at it, his daughter was born on the same day, but a few years later, my goddaughter, Jennifer. So happy birthday to those folks, Bob and Jennifer. Okay, we have a couple of announcements to go to here. And but before I do that, remember that this is a call-in show, and we are live at the moment. And just as you heard from Mike from Portland, you can call in at 716-753-5225. And if you have an announcement, you just want to wish us and the rest of the world Happy New Year, or you have a comment, a question. Also, I'm looking for ideas for future shows, too. So if you have an excuse me, you can write me at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. I get suggestions every now and then, and we work on them. Some we can do, some we can't. Just depends on the nature of the topic. Okay? So, again, this show is for the community. It's not for me, and we do the best we can. So with that, we're going to just make 2 quick announcements that we got, and then we're going to get to my guest, who was anxiously waiting to come on. This is from Infinity, who you've been watching the last couple of weeks, and I just love that program. All right. This says, call Jane and Tar to show at Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. Oh, this isn't from Infinity. This is from the Reg Linnaeus. Okay, it's called You Can Call Jane. I guess that's the name of the movie. This can be shown on Wednesday, January 4th. It's set in 1968. I was a teenager. Joy is faced with a devastating diagnosis when her second pregnancy leads to a life-threatening heart condition. Her search for a solution leads her to a clandestine, secretive group of women, led by Virginia and Gwen, who envision a day when all women will have access to safe, affordable abortions. This community of women ignites an awakening in joy. Inspired by their compassion and commitment, Joy joins them, putting every aspect of her life online. Call Jane is rated R and is 120 minutes long. That's certainly a timely show, movie, with the matter that we have here in America right now and the discussion on abortion. So I have a feeling that's pretty thought-provocative and maybe worth your time taking a look at. Then from director, writer, producer Todd Field comes Tar, T-A-R, starring Cate Blanchett as the iconic musician Lydia Tarr. I don't know this person. Tar examines the changing nature of power, its impact and durability in our modern world. Tar is rated R and 158 minutes long. you haven't seen a show with Kate Blanchett, she's really quite the actress. I'm guessing Tar, is this the one where she's the director, I think, of a symphonic orchestra? Okay, I see that in the picture. I did see a preview on this, so I understand it's quite the movie, and she is quite the actress. Upcoming movies at the Reg include Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan in She Said, and that's going to be on Wednesday, January 11th at 7 p.m., and Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy in The Menu, that's the name of the movie, The Menu, on January 14th. Movies at the Reg are $7, $6 for family films, and $1 extra for restoration fees for the theater. Keep it up and looking good. If you're interested, give them a call at the box office at 484-7070, and they're open from 12 to 5 on Monday and Friday, and 12 to 8 on Wednesdays. Always fun to take in a movie, especially this time of year. Okay, Ripley, New York. Years ago, John Potter and a number of other folks got together, and they had the vision to form a community foundation where people could apply for grants that would help the community. And there's many organizations in communities that don't have the funds to do little things, little projects, and sometimes bigger projects. So this is called the Ripley Community Heritage Fund, and they're accepting applications. Charitable, not-for-profit organizations that serve the Ripley community are eligible to apply for funding. Interested organizations can find grant applications and guidelines at the NCC Foundation, and they've been on the show here many times, the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, and you just go over there and you look up the Ripley Community Heritage Fund, and you can find it. Board Chair Richard Wade, you can give him a call at 269-9304, or Pete Ryan, who's the co-chair of this, at 716-252-6542. And then you can mail your completed application to the Ripley Community Heritage Fund at 25 North State Street in Ripley. Okay, but remember, there's always a deadline, so your application has to be marked by January 15th. Now, for other communities, this is something to think about. So this is a little bit of story behind it. The Community Foundation was formed in 2000 with a mission to enrich the lives of Ripley residents. To help the community, the foundation administers a grant program specifically for volunteer organizations providing valuable services within the Ripley community. The Heritage Foundation is a community donor-advised fund of the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. In other words, the monies are held by the Community Foundation in Dunkirk. The grants awarded by the Heritage Fund have been available through the Ripley Community Heritage Fund endowment created at the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation by over 140 community businesses, citizens, and organizations. And I'm proud to say my wife and I are one of the 140 to date. The foundation, the Heritage Fund, has distributed over $64,000 to local organizations. Pretty cool. Okay, additional committee members include Mary Beth Chess, who's the secretary, Lou Barnes, Nate Bauer, Terry Eggleston, Andy Knight, Riley Enterline, and go to the foundation, Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, for an application. So I'm proud to know every one of those folks, and a lot of communities should be thinking about that for the future to help their community. All right, we're going to take a little breather. Jeff's got a very important PSA for us, and then we're going to get to the crew here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
You know, we had Melanie Wachowski on here not long ago from Prevention Works, and we were talking about be so careful, whether it's alcohol or recreational marijuana or whatever it is. If you have any thought that you may not be okay to drive, don't do it. The consequences are through the roof on these things, and life, limb, finances, your future, licensure. Sometimes your even your credentials at work. And it's just so much online. I have been a designated driver for gosh, 40 years at least, for a variety of people because I don't drink. And I'm happy if anybody's listening right now, if you need a ride near my home, I will come and get you and get you home safe. But think about it, folks. This is the time people like to celebrate. No problem, celebrate, but do it safely and make sure you got somebody who'll get you home safe. Okay, and this goes for any time, especially for the New Year's. My first guest was someone I've known for a long time. I don't even know how long I've known him. Rainey Burt. Rainey, we go back to the Repower Show at least, and I think you were involved with Reed at the various spots.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you come on? How long have you been involved with Access Chautauqua?
We've been 17 years, 18 years. It's something crazy.
Wow. So, and I've been actually involved with them almost 25 years on and off, you know, before you guys even came on. Not steady all those years, but I've been a guest down at the railroad station. Did you ever work down there?
Never.
And then they moved up to Chautauqua School.
That's where
I think that's where I met all of you
where
guys.
we got involved.
And then where did we go next? Here, right?
Here.
And we've been here. But the station has been moving for 20, I think this is our 26th year, something like that. We celebrated 25. Yeah. So anyways, but you have been you know, one of the pillars here of the station as far as, well, what have you done here all these years? I mean, quite a bit.
Well, for Reed, I was cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got going, the first few shows, I sat in the control room with Mort and locked myself out one day. And
Mort Flexer, that's a name we don't hear very
yeah,
often.
Mort, he would sit there and we'd talk, and I wasn't allowed to crack any senior jokes. That was the first thing he told me. But Reed had me do like the Geezer report.
Mm-hmm.
And he took some time off, and I did my first show with Jane Curry from the DeWittville Cheese House.
Okay.
That was my first show, and then from then on, it's
And you sub for me?
sub for you.
Yeah.
I try to give it a little funniness and then get serious.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have some fun. But
Right. So you've been behind the camera, you've been on this side of the camera, and now you kind of do a little bit of everything for us here, right?
I'm pretty much a phone answer. I can't keep awake anymore, so I just, when the phone rings, it wakes me up, and I, hello? Hit the wrong buttons, put the headset down wrong. But we get the calls through one way or another.
Right. So how does that work? So tell me, if somebody calls in right now, it's not in where I am, right?
No, it's in the control room. We'll push a button like it'll blink one, and then when we're ready to put, we'll talk to them. When we're ready to put them on the air, we'll hit hold, put the headset down. If I do it right, and then I'll hit next, and then they'll be able to hear you talking. There actually sounds going through.
Right, I can hear them in my earpiece.
You can hear us talking and dogs barking and all that good stuff. But and then if we do it right, you can do it. And there's also a second one. We can do two calls at once.
Two calls at once.
Which
You know,
gets confusing. But
yeah. Well, you know, when you were working with Reed Powers on the senior report back in whenever it was, the 90s. No, it wasn't in the 90s. Well, let me think about it. No, it was in the 2000s. When you were on the camera, I was the phone guy. And I replaced Mort Flexer for about 3 years. And I would come on and, I think, what was it, the Doc's in or whatever they call it. Well, here's Doc. Or I used to come on and do a little piece with Reed. So we all have some history here.
I mean, you're the kind of person that gets attacked by congressmen's gorillas. Come running in. And
All right. Let's explain that
one.
one. Congressman Tom Reed was here, and he had just been appointed or elected, or
He hadn't been elected yet.
right. He was filling in
running.
for someone, and had just been appointed by the Republican Party, I believe. And Reed was interviewing him. They were sitting right here in this area here. I'm on the other side of the wall, and I would come in and do my little piece. Well, he had two guys, I think, was sitting over there as bodyguards. Was there three?
He had three of them.
Three bodyguards. And why they needed a bodyguard? Well, maybe one was a driver, I don't know. Anyways, I would come in around quarter after the hour. That was my time to come in. So it was Reese says, "Okay, now we're going to hear from Doc." You know, and I come pulling in through the door, and those guys jumped out of their seats, and I thought they were going to tackle me. And
friend.
And Reed's go, "No, it's okay. He's all right." So that was
that was great.
Yeah,
great
for you. It wasn't great for me.
Later on, Congressman Reed gave us a private tour of the Capitol.
Oh, you went out there and visited
and we got a guide took us through the places most people can't go.
Yeah. So you really have been all aspects of the studio here. We work together on the Mayville Parade and other projects, and we've covered other kinds of events. But you've taken on a new role down the road over in Westfield with the Lakeshore Center for the Arts this past year. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I saw their schedule on Facebook one day. They had a new website, and I saw some classes. Like, I have got to take them because take photography around here. There's no really college or anybody to teach you, and if you can, it's so expensive. So I signed up, and I kept going there, and now I'm an administrator. I open up the studios a lot on the weekends. Jacqueline Phillips, she goes home to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Massachusetts, right. And I fill in, and I've tried giving a class and stuff, but I really enjoy it. We filmed a play, just learning. It's a learning experience. We learn and then we teach.
Okay, well, so, and I think one of the things that I want to bring out here is that you learned about all that program from my guest to be here on the show.
Yeah, I would have never heard of it before.
So, I mean, this show hopefully has been providing a lot of information to community members across the county, and of course around the world too. That a lot of people listen in, and you know, for instance, I know that a lot of times you and Natalia will comment on the webpage. Natalia being from the Ukraine, I always sneak her in every week. But we really do stream around the world, and so that's very, very cool. So we really don't have the questions from last year, and I don't think anything that we talked about last year, I don't think any of us did very well on it. I mean, our guess is we might have gotten one or two, because I think I kind of remember some of the questions.
I can remember a couple.
But what we're going to do is we're going to start fresh with this year, and you heard some of the questions that I asked Mike from Portland. So Mike's in the mix now, so we've expanded our list. Go Mike. So we want to get the other folks on the show, so I'm going to ask you the same questions. You are not what I would consider someone that likes the Buffalo Bills. And we don't need to go into that. But do you think, yes or no? Remember, this is to be considered prognosticator of the year for 2023. So do you think they're going to be, oh man, in the Super Bowl this year? What do you mean no?
They're going to get kicked out just like every year in the playoffs. They do something dumb every year, so
well,
either a coach does something or
what's your team? The Vikings.
My team's the Vikings. They're right tied.
They're right up there, yeah.
About the same amount of wins and losses.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask you who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl. This is yes or no. I asked about, you know, right now we've all been watching the January 6th committee and so forth about what happened at the Capitol almost a year ago. And so the question is not anybody in particular, but anybody within that circle of the White House leadership. Will any of them be convicted of a crime?
They should, because I don't believe it was the Republicans. I think it was their counterparts.
Well, the question is yes or no. Will somebody be convicted?
No.
Okay, so you say no on that. I'm not picking sides here. I just want to know if you think anybody's going to be convicted out of all this.
They shouldn't, at least.
Okay.
So I'll say no.
They should or shouldn't, you said?
No.
No, okay. Do you think we're going to have another Biden-Trump runoff for president? Because we're going to know, I think, by the end of next year who's running, right? By 2023. So what do you think?
Well, I'm going to say yes.
Oh, okay. So they're going to have a repeat on that one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Just for fun, we had a white Christmas for sure this year, but we had a green New Year's, right? So green Christmas next year, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And then price of gas. You think? I put down the average right now is $3.50 because I know over in Ripley you can get in the $3.39 area, and I think $3.60 up this way. So assuming that gas is around $3.50 right now, you think it's going to be up or down?
It's going to go up. I say that.
You say that every year.
And I was right, but then it's starting to go down a little.
I know. So it depends on what day that we look at it.
Yeah, it's depending on what they want to do.
Okay, stock market, up or down?
Stock market, I don't really follow, but I'll say it'll go up.
Okay. And you know, over time it does. And then any resolution for next year that you want to work on?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a Buffalo Bills fan.
Buffalo Bills.
I mean, you know how resolutions are. You never follow through. So I'll be a Bills fan.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to thank you for all the work you do behind the scenes. You get me wired up here every week. And it's just a lot of fun to have you around. And,
well, we had fun when we were on our trip, except we're gone. We're in California, and Doc's got the show on at 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear the ding in my phone, and it's like Chautauqua Sunrise. We get to Hawaii, he's got it on at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You're a trooper.
So I have to get up and watch.
But you have your
show.
own pin on my map. I mean, you guys are special.
I know. It's interesting to be over there and actually you feel like you're at home.
Isn't it amazing, the technology to see us right here, what we do anywhere in the world?
And I know you.
I watched you guys when I was in Germany and I think the Czech Republic. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's really the live version's pretty good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shut my mouth down.
All right. Well, we're gonna
goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you again. Happy New Year to you, Randy.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna switch up a guest here, and we're gonna bring on my concierge. I call him my concierge because while many of you guys are watching me, I put my hand over here, and all of a sudden a glass of water, or a bottle of water, or a cup of tea shows up for my guest or myself, or we adjust the cameras and so forth. And we got sort of a triumvirate of birds here. We got Randy, Justin, and Chris. And Justin, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
We have a lot of fun
Happy
here.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, too. And Happy New Year and Merry Christmas past. So, Justin, how long have you been involved with the studio now?
Not nearly as long as the others.
You're the baby of the crew here. So, did you start at Chautauqua or did you start here? I don't remember.
I went to Chautauqua once, maybe, to help out.
So you've been working here
mostly
since then.
just here.
So how'd you get pulled in? I mean, Chris was already involved at the school. Your dad was involved because he took your brother to the school.
Well, honestly, I got involved because every Saturday morning, I'd ask them to bring me home some breakfast, and they never would.
Oh.
So I had to come with to get my own food.
Now, you've got a culinary background, right?
I do.
Mm-hmm. And you went to the Hughes Center, as I recall. Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple years of culinary. And so do you cook at home?
On occasion, yeah.
So if I were to say, Justin, fix us something that would be your specialty, what would it be?
I don't really have a specialty. We aren't the best grocery shoppers.
Okay, if you could fix, a really fancy meal that you feel comfortable with, and you could have, and if I gave you all the money to go buy this stuff, what would you prepare? Anything special?
I think I would do steak and potatoes.
Okay. Nothing.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Okay. And so, have you been able to take any of your skills from culinary arts and apply them anywhere?
Just at home and at my uncle's house.
You know, a lot of times people don't realize you can go to school to take some of these trades and technologies, but you don't necessarily have to go into that field. But it's life skills, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that took culinary, not just you. They're now engineers, or they have their own businesses or whatever. But they have a love of food, and we've talked about this over the years that we love to cook. We like to go to restaurants, enjoy food for what it's worth, and so forth. So that's great. So I always call you my concierge and my right arm here. So what do you do here?
Oh, I do all sorts of things. I get your tea prepared for you from the Keurig usually. I clean the mugs that we hand out to our guests.
Yeah.
I do all sorts of things. If we need the armless chairs, I grab them out of the corner and get them set up.
People don't realize that it's just generally me and you in the room. Mm-hmm. You know, and Emerald, if she's here.
Yeah.
I don't know where Emerald is today. She didn't call in for a ride. But sometimes we have one or two camera people. What do you call a camera woman? Camera tech?
I would probably go with people.
Camera people. All right.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the camera now? It's been a long time.
I pretty much have been doing the camera since I started.
Okay. And I think
maybe a little bit less.
You and your dad were kind of bouncing off each other for a while.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, it was just you. So, but we've had a lot of fun. And you know, sometimes you do a TV show and you're talking and you think, well, there's nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of times we have our side conversations going on. A lot of fun with that. What's your best memory of the show? Do you know? Do you have one? Anything that jumps out?
I gotta say, some of them Infinity shows when they were bringing in the kids to actually sing.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult for them early in the morning to get up and sing, but you know, I love the live music when it's actually played here.
Mm-hmm. And we've had other musicians.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's the music that really is a lot of fun because it's not me talking or me interviewing, but it brings in a whole different side.
The energy that they have,
yeah,
it just heats up the room because you know how we usually have it a little cooler in here for the technology, but it really heats up the room.
Yeah, and you will feel that because you're on the other side of the camera, and where I'm just kind of part of the whole mix and don't always feel that way. So people don't know this about us, but we have a shared love of Harry Potter, don't we?
Yes, we do.
You know,
I was going to wear my Ravenclaw sweatshirt this morning.
Next week. Let's do it.
Yes.
All right.
And, you know, I'm getting ready this morning, and all of a sudden all the lights are off out in the living room and downstairs. And I'm like, am I the only one still in here? I get to the stairs, and Chris and Dad are already out at the cars. And
oh, my gosh.
Okay. I'm all alone. Oh, well. It happens.
Yeah, I've been in that situation where Barb is already in the car, is running, and I'm going like, I still got to get my boots on or whatever.
Yes.
So, yeah, some people, they got to run and go. It's crazy. So, I think...
And a fun fact.
Yes, sir.
That you should know.
All right, I'm listening.
So, in your announcements earlier with the movies,
yes,
they have the one that's called The Menu.
Yes.
I'm not going to see that. But the main chef there, he's actually the actor who played Lord Voldemort in the movie.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's one spooky dude.
Yes. And the movie is kind of...
I don't even know about it now when you said The Menu. This cannot be a good result. I don't think you want to...
It's not nearly as bad as it sounds, but it's still not something I'm going to go see.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you said that, I go, oh, no. I see body parts all over the place.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad, okay. So I think I remember one of the very first memories of Justin Burt in the studio. You're on the other side reading Harry Potter books. Am I right?
That is probably true.
All right, so a little known fact, so let me see if you'll be impressed. How many times have you read the Harry Potter series?
Oh, I've had to have done it at least a dozen times.
You've read all 7 books 12 times? Oh, you got me beat then. I've done it 3 times.
Oh, yeah. When I was in my freshman year of high school, I actually got yelled at by a teacher because, you know, we didn't have anything to do that day, so she told me, go grab a book, read it. So I grabbed the first Harry Potter book, and she's like, you've read that too many times, you can't do that, and I'm like, why? So she's like, all right, take a section of this, read it, and then tell me what happens in your own words. So I'm like, I do. It's the part where Hagrid's telling Harry about Lord Voldemort.
I shouldn't have said
that. Well, in the early parts, in the Leaky Cauldron. And, you know, I say it back to her in my own words, and she's like, well, how do you know that they're talking about Lord Voldemort? And I'm like, right here on the page, it actually says his name.
There's your evidence, yeah.
And so, you know, after that, she kind of let me alone on it, but, you know, I think it's ironic.
You know, and that whole series, that whole movement is being regenerated now 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
They got more video games, they got merch on this. Plus you have the Fantastic Beats with Newt Scamander.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see the third movie yet. I love those movies.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're moving forward on the last two that they had planned to do.
Oh, man. You know, you get into a series sometimes and you think, oh, man, is this worth the investment? The storyline is just incredible. And I remember seeing the very first movie. I was in Germany, of all places, at my son's house, and they throw the old DV into the machine, and I'm watching this, and I'm going like, whoa. I mean, just whoa. That's all I can say is whoa. I got pulled in from there, and I have never left. And I know this seems weird, but on my DVR at home, I think I have the entire Harry Potter series. So at any point in time I want to get my fix, I just look at the menu and pull it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have the hopes because there's a few book series that I've read that have, you know, after a while they have started to do a TV series about them.
Right.
So I have hopes that maybe someday we'll get a Harry Potter, you know, TV series.
That'd be pretty darn cool.
Maybe, you know, a different storyline,
Sure.
but still based in the wizarding world. You know, use the Hogwarts castle that they
Through the eyes of Longbottom, or through Luna, whatever her name is there.
Right,
know.
or even, you know, something built in the 2020s.
Oh yeah, more
with
modern,
completely different characters.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
sure, and they could reference back to the Harry Potter days. All right,
Or
well,
even, you know, going hundreds and hundreds of years into the past.
Yeah, that'd be way cool.
And doing stuff.
Right, right. Well, anyways, I really appreciate you here, and we have a good time, and we share, you know, our love of the Harry Potter world. So let's go through the questions, and I'm going to give this piece of paper to your brother, so we have it for next year.
Oh,
I don't
well,
know what
that's
happened in
good.
2022. We lost it.
Well, I think he has it somewhere at home, and it's just, you know,
Well, maybe we'll come back to it
somewhere.
and see. But
I think he did that the last time too. Had it at home and then
Could
had
be.
to post everything
could
on
be.
Facebook.
We'll see what happens here. All right, Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, because you don't have to necessarily win in the questions, just be there.
Yeah, like in the audience.
White House group of people that were involved with the 2006, or I mean January 6th situation there. Is anyone going to get convicted, you think?
I don't think so. I think it's just too confusing as to
Okay.
what happened.
Okay.
I mean, personally, I don't really know a whole lot about it.
Right.
And, you know, I try to keep it that way.
Okay.
You know, ignore the news.
Do the best you can with it.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think we're going to have a Biden-Trump runoff again?
I don't think so.
Okay. Green Christmas.
No.
Okay.
It's going to be white.
White. Price of gas, up or down? These are tough
From
questions.
now, it's probably going to be around the same.
So I'm going to put even. All right. Stock market, up or down?
Up.
Good. And any resolution for next year?
Try to forget things less.
Forget less. Good luck with that, because it only gets to be a more problem as you get older. All right, we got a couple guys coming up, so let's get you out of here.
And Jeff's telling me that my dad turned the camera upside down again.
Turn the camera upside down. How's that even possible?
My dad would figure it out.
Okay, so folks, I hope you're listening, and if you want to write down some of the answers that we're going over here, we'll have a little bit of fun, and we'll see where we end up next year. I know in the past I've done terrible, and so moving right along, we got another key person here at the studio is Jeff Zook, and good morning, Jeff.
Morning. How are you?
All right, we're having fun here.
Yes,
So,
I
Jeff,
enjoy this show.
Jeff, you've been involved with the studio a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, I started, I believe, the summer of 2007.
Hold it, that's 15 years.
Yeah.
Coming up on 16 years. Oof. And were you always on the board, or you bounced around like Randy?
Most everybody, when they come in and start, it's kind of a couple weeks of orientation, you know, just kind of watching what everybody does.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can go onto the cameras. Usually it's not too much, but you know, it's a different point of view. And then they needed somebody in the control room, and I said, I want to learn it. So I've been pretty much there for,
I think my whole show, at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah. I think I only was on camera for maybe a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. You know, people don't realize this, but what you do is not a simple matter. You're pulling information from this computer, you're uploading it to this thing, you're bringing in pictures, you're putting in the subtitles, the bottom third, I think we call that.
Yep.
The banners below us, you're talking to guests when they come in to get their name spelled right, or second time, third time, because a lot of times I give you the wrong name.
We double check everything as much as possible before we actually go on the air. So between about 8 o'clock in the morning, Chris, if you could bring that picture up on slide 18. This is what I face when I come in the mornings.
Holy moly! Just like home, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different screens, maybe, if you count those little guys too.
Yeah, the little guys are preview cameras. They show you what's going on. We'll start on the bottom left. That is our wide angle. The one in the center on the bottom is a specific for, I believe it's dock. And then the one on the bottom right is for the guest, and then the one on the top right is for our still store, which has all our PSAs and all, you know, whatever else that we need to put on the air, pictures and all that kind of stuff.
So you have different sources to pop onto the screen for us here.
Yeah, and to do that, if you look down on the desk, well, actually, if you start on the right, there's some outdated. Well, it's all pretty much outdated, but it still works. But on the left-hand side there, it looks like little banks, a bank of different kinds of
slide buttons and things.
Yeah. Well, to the left of that yet is where our cameras for the floor. We can actually make some adjustments from there, and that's our power source and everything else. Moving over onto the desk directly, the first thing you see there is our audio board. Moving to more toward the center, that is our switcher that actually switches the cameras. Up underneath the clock, on the top is our preview camera, or preview monitor. The one to the right of that is the on-air monitor, and we switch back and forth using the switcher down below. Then moving to the right of that, right in front of my coffee cup, or right in the middle of my coffee cup, is sitting for our character generator computer. That is where we pull all our pictures and everything else in, and create our bottom thirds and whatever else.
So people at home that have a problem with their little laptop or their iPad, woo! This is like on steroids, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. And the problems and whatever problems you have with your little laptop are multiplied by at least 3 or 4, because that's how many different computers we have in here.
And then and everything looks real simple when you're on this side of the camera watching it, and you guys, you're scrambling to put all this information in there, and sometimes we throw you a curveball and say, can you bring this up from on the YouTube, or can you bring this up from the internet, or whatever, or here's a last minute slide. And so we appreciate what you all do. So what is your title? I mean, we call you what, the engineer, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, let's keep on moving here. As always, the time is running faster than I can keep up with. So, Jeff, I know as your control room director. Wow, that's a new name.
I just threw some stuff in there. Did you see Justin's?
What was his? I didn't see that.
Floor director extraordinaire.
Oh,
there we go.
We were busy talking. All right, very nice. Jeff, real quick, is there any particular show or project that we did that stands out? You say, wow, that was a hard show or difficult show or a topic that we covered that stands out in your mind?
The thing, it's not so much a particular show, it's kind of generally. When we get like a dozen people in here, that, and they want, and videos and all this kind of stuff, it sometimes takes, there's been a couple of shows where we've actually started the show and I'm still working on getting stuff in. You know, which is kind of typical with any TV studio.
Yeah.
So,
and we're live.
And
it's
we're
not
live.
pre-taped. It was pre-taped to be different, right?
Yeah. If it was pre-taped, I wouldn't be here.
Well,
so,
and you know, and I think this still holds. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think we're still the only live show in Chautauqua County.
As far as I know, yes.
I know that they do some pre-taping and other things like that, and cover meetings and stuff like that. But
yeah, we're not the only public access channel in Chautauqua County, but we are the only one that I am aware of that does a live show.
And that's really cool to be live like that. You know, to do it
and we've kind of made a mark here in Chautauqua County.
Yeah, I think so.
Because and it's kind of cool to be recognized as being part of the media in Chautauqua County.
And we've been a good team. We talk a lot about different things and come up with ideas. And so, you know, everybody thinks, oh, you know, Doc does this. No, we all work together on this. And we bounce off each other. So I really appreciate the technical side that you bring. But sometimes you've been my fill-in host or you contributed ideas. So it's all good. Joe, we want to leave enough time for our other guy here. So how about we go through the questions? What do you think here? Bills, Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl, not win it, but are they going to be in the Super Bowl this year?
I believe so. Hopefully to win.
All right. We talked about the White House group, and what I mean is the cabinet or the people that were involved at the time in the White House during the January 6th insurrection there. Anybody going to get convicted, you think?
It's been recommended from the January 6th Congressional Committee, but yeah, there's going to be some repercussions, but I don't think anybody's really going to get convicted, mainly because, and this is probably more than you wanted, but because you wanted just yes or no, but because they've kind of insulated themselves in the terms of getting the job done. So things they've kind of been insulated a little bit from.
So you're going to say no?
I'm going to say no.
You think we're going to have another Biden-Trump runoff?
No.
Okay. Green Christmas or no next year? Really hard to know, but with the weather patterns.
Heads. Green Christmas.
Oh, okay. Okay. Price of gas up or down compared to this year? It's been bouncing.
It's been bouncing all over, but you know, we're back about the same place we were last year, so I'm going to say steady.
Steady. So you and Justin are the same. Stock market up or down?
It's had a history of bouncing up and down, but generally over time it's been going up.
Okay. And a resolution for next year?
Just, I really don't have one.
How about more miles on your bike?
Yeah, maybe. I got about 1,200 in this year, and since I got a brand new road bike this year, maybe I'll be able to put a few more miles on.
Okay, more miles. All right, we're going to take a little breather here while you switch up with Chris, and while he gets here, I will do my answers here. I think the Bills are going to be in the Super Bowl. I think someone's going to get convicted. They're going to throw somebody under the bus. That's my guess. I don't think you're going to see a Biden-Trump runoff. I just think they're going to come up with somebody else. Green Christmas, sure. My resolution, lose more weight. I'm working on it, though. Price of gas, I think, is going to be down, and the stock market is going to be up. And we're going to do real quick. We have a phone call, and we're going to get to Chris Bird, our director. So, Linda, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I don't want to hold you up. I'll call next week.
Okay. Well, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Well, that was the fastest call we've ever had. We had 2 calls. Chris, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing a whole lot better than I was last week.
Last week you were what, sick?
Last week I was sick, yeah.
And we were stuck in a snowstorm and everything else. How was your Christmas?
It was good.
Good. Get anything special this year? Like any new wearable technology or anything?
Well, I bought myself some stuff.
Yeah, what'd you buy?
Watch.
Oh, new watch.
But No, I got 2 of everything because what I did is I sent my brother and father the same list, figuring that they would, work with each other.
Figured that. No, okay.
They just went and bought the same thing.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a spare. That's how I look at it. Chris, you're sort of the invisible guy here. You're not on the camera. You're not on the board. Well, you are once in a while, but how would you describe your role here at the station?
Well, hopefully I do nothing because otherwise I'm the one that has to fix everything.
You were doing some fixing this morning, I saw.
I was working on something new. We'll just call it that.
Okay. Is this a surprise or nothing special?
No, we're just going to try to upgrade the streaming. That's all.
Okay.
The piece of equipment we have is a little old, so we're just going to try and switch it out with something new.
The fact that you got us streaming live around the world has been such a cool thing. And to be able to reach out anywhere in the world and have people respond to us is outstanding. And I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I know that we've been able to touch bases with folks in the Ukraine or across the United States, even within our own community, and for people to be able to see what we do in Chautauqua County and the programs, the people that live here, the good stuff that goes on, we're able to share it with the world where otherwise, we would be just kind of stuck in our little bubble. And you broke the ceiling, the glass ceiling.
Well, the rest of the equipment Jeff was talking about, it's 10, 15 years old. But modern equipment only lasts a couple of years. So every couple of years, you got to switch it out with something new. So now the piece of equipment is dying, so we're going to give you something new.
Oh, wow. Will I look better?
I don't know. That's up to you.
There's no helping that. Okay, so you've been...
Doc, you always look fantastic.
Oh, thank you, especially when I have my Gryffindor sweatshirt on here. You've been with the studio since high school, right?
Yeah, 2005,
okay.
September-ish.
So we're looking at 18 years. Wow. Oh, you were just a little kid then.
Just a little one.
Just a little guy. Okay.
Never little.
Never little.
No, never
Two
little.
brothers doing battle here. Mind if I do the interview too? Is that right? Okay. So, any show this year that jumped out at you that you remember and said, well, that was pretty interesting?
Well, I don't think I had to fix anything this year, so no, not really. Usually it's when you have to fix something, when that's your job, that, that it pops out at you, but I don't think we had to fix anything.
All right. Well, you were able to get away with your family. You got your dad and your brother to Hawaii this year, and you got any trips planned for next year?
No, I think we're going to try and get a house.
Oh, that's good.
Try.
Okay. Housing is important. That's a good thing. So, Chris, we never seem to have enough time at the end of the show for everybody, but let's get through the questions real quick. You ready?
Sure.
Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl.
No.
I know that your answer is going to be on this next one. I just know it. From that White House cabinet or those that were officials in the White House at the time of the January 6th, do you think anybody's going to get convicted?
I think somebody will.
So, yes. Okay. And I don't even know who it's going to be, but I just think somebody's going to take the blame. Someone's going to get it.
Somebody.
Somebody. Biden-Trump runoff again, you think?
Yes.
Okay. Really? Okay. I'm surprised. Green Christmas next year. What do you think?
I think we'll have a white Christmas.
White Christmas.
Just like we did this year. 7 feet.
No. Price of gas, up or down?
Up.
Up.
I mean, when you compare gas, though, we paid $6 a gallon in California.
Oh, yeah.
It was about $5 a gallon in Hawaii.
Stock market, up or down?
Down.
Down. Okay. You're cheery. Resolution for next year?
I'm going to buy a house.
You're going to buy a house. All right. Buy a house. All right. Anything you want to tell people before we shut off for the year?
Well, next year is our local elections.
Uh-huh.
And local elections are the most important elections. I mean, obviously, you always have the federal elections, but the local elections are the most important. Even this year, we had a local election that came down to 6 votes.
Yeah. So every vote counts.
Vote next year is my statement.
Okay. Chris.
It's super important.
Super important. And I thank you for all what you do behind the scenes. And we've done some other kinds of programs together here, and I appreciate you. Here are the results from this year's votes, and I know you have a folder, so hopefully next year we'll have all the answers.
All right.
All right. That was Chris Bird, our IT director and station manager here, or whatever else title we want to give you. Folks, have a safe, wonderful New Year's Eve, and we look forward to seeing you in 2023. best wishes for everybody. Be healthy, stay safe, and of course, get a designated driver. Yes, goodbye, Justin, in the background. All right, well, take care, and we're going to do this all next year. See you next Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.